Good evening, it's Freddy Vazquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Tonight, exposing Yonkers corruption. Once upon a time. Join me. Good evening, folks. I'm Freddy Vazquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Tonight, exposing Yonkers corruption. Once upon a time. Good evening, folks. Good evening. I'm Freddy Vazquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. How you doing today? I'm gonna change that. I'm gonna like it. Good evening. Happy Saturday. Today's September 10th, 2022. Good evening, folks. How you doing? It's Freddy Vazquez, Basement Politics Unfiltered. Tonight, I'm not going to go on tomorrow, so I'm coming on tonight. Tomorrow, like I said, September 10th today. So tomorrow is September 11th. So out of respect for the day, many people will be mourning. It's a somber day of remembrance. So I'm not going to go on. So I'm doing it today. And so I'm actually going to change up what I'm doing. I actually was on... Well, I've been on phone calls and text messages with people, different people throughout the day. And what we've been talking about or texting or whatever is this page, Exposing Yonkers Corruption. So I'm sure many of you probably seen it by now. I've mentioned it on the podcast before. And I want to know, people are wondering, who is this person or persons that's behind this page? They want to know. They're very, resilient, I guess, or very, I should say, consistent and relentless, right? Like someone said to me, they're relentless. They're constantly posting on their page, and they are specifically targeting the mayor. That's what I've noticed. I'm trying to kind of find out who, maybe who might be behind this. Not that I want to expose them, right? So who is exposing Yonkers corruption, right? Who is the admin? Who is the admin behind this page? And like I said, they seem to go after the mayor a lot specifically, and they've been talking about the term limit elimination stuff, but we don't know who they are. And the issue with that is that they put out a rally. There's going to be a rally on Tuesday. They shared a flyer on their page. They've been sharing it on the Facebook, and many people received it actually via email, as did I as well. And who's going to lead that rally, right? That's what I want to know. Who's going to lead the rally? What's going on? At first, many thought it was me. They did, and I didn't even realize that. I was like oblivious to the fact that people was assuming that I was behind this page. And then I said no, and then I started to look into it, and then I thought I had my idea who it was, but it wasn't that person. And then I started to have some crazy conspiracy theory ideas, according to some. And then I'm also hearing that some people believe it's the Caters, specifically Lauren Caters, what I've been hearing. I've reached out to Lauren Cater to ask her about it. She says, no, it's not me. And look, again, I'm not looking to identify this person for the sake of exposing them, but there's a rally that is supposed to be happening on September 13th. That's Tuesday at City Hall, Unity Fountain. And I want to know who's going to lead the rally. When people get there, people show up, who's going to lead the rally? Who's going to organize the message and communicate that message? A lot of people are supporting it. A lot of people are like, yeah, man, that we need to, prevent that from happening, or we need change. A lot of people are starting to see all the development that's going up and how it's now really pushing people out, pushing businesses out. So people are like, it's got to change. We got to change. So the page is actually catching traction, right? It's not me. I think some people still think it's me. I don't know if it's the Caters. I really don't. I reached out and I asked them if it was them, and if it was, I wouldn't probably have said if they want to be anonymous. But since they're saying it's not them, I'm telling you that I did reach out to them in regards to it, because I'm like, yo, if it's you guys, just let me know, because people think it's me. You know what I mean? But I think the person or a person's behind the page, they either like what I do or whatever, but they mostly shared my stuff, and that's pretty much it. And then I guess some people just assume that it's me because of that, because they shared a couple of my posts. But again, what about this rally on Tuesday? Who's going to lead the rally, the call to action? Tuesday, September 13, 2022 at 7 p.m. City Hall, 40 South Broadway. Obviously, you know what that's at. Unity Fountain. Urgent call to action. Keep term limits. If you cannot make it, call and let your voice be heard. And it lets the numbers and stuff there, right? Save the date. Save the date. But I find this interesting that, they're kind of trying to associate me with this, but I'm sharing it because it's information that's out there. But I got it in an email. I didn't create this. I will be there. I wanted, I'm going to do my filming thing. I'm going to see what's going on, right? Because everyone is curious to know. And, so I'm actually curious. So I'm going to be there. But I only ask about who it is because I obviously if they're going to create a rally or, call an action and have people come to City Hall for this purpose, then, I would think you would do it in a way that's not anonymous, so you can lead the rally that you're creating, right? But I guess maybe they will identify themselves at that point, right? It's kind of like, my wife actually is watching that movie, Never Been Kissed, came out in 1999. And then, at the end of it, everybody's waiting at the baseball field to see if the guy's going to show up, and she had put out a message, right? So are people going to show up? So I'm very curious about this. And a lot of people are supporting it, like I said, but there are some that are not, obviously. And everyone, whether you support it or not, is wondering who it is. And again, some people think it's the Caters. I think by default, if they think it's the Caters and they think that I have some to do, I really don't. I would just do it on basement politics. Everything that I just said, I mean, really, why would I do it this way, right? Why would I do it this way? I've noticed some interesting things, however, on this page. I noticed that they mostly, oh, look, that's one of the people I was going to say. Exposing Yonkers corruption sounds a lot like John Murtagh, who lost to Mike Spano in 2011. That's one of the people, I've been hearing. Although I also heard Eileen O'Connor. I don't know how true that was. The GOP in general. That's the same time as the city council meeting. Yes, that's right. So, what the mystery, admin is trying to do is get people there at City Hall during the meeting so they can let the city council know this is how they feel. A lot of people are expressing that they want to see change and stuff like that. And that's what I say, if you do, then you got to let it be known. And definitely people must come out to vote next year, especially. But that's what they're hoping for. A lot of information has been put out there, but it's mostly about the mayor. It's not really a lot about the council, though some of it, I appreciate the nice words and kind words that they said about me in terms of, I keep it, I say it like it is. I don't stutter, unlike the district councilwoman for, District 1, I should say, Shanae Williams, when she was stuttering to ask Wilson Kimball that question. If it's not John Murtagh, then he should lead the rally anyway. He was the person who helped create term limits in the first place. And yeah, I mean, I think whoever it is, I think they have to. Somebody has to lead, right? Maybe no leader. Instead, just have everyone attending to share what's on their mind. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't see that going too well. We have not learned that communal way of living just yet, right? Just yet. And we need to. If we did, we wouldn't need oversight. We wouldn't need government. We'd do everything for ourselves, right? But one day maybe. Someone has to take the lead. Murtagh doesn't or won't, then Freddy should take the lead for the people. Hey, listen, I'll take the lead, man. I'll take the lead, but I don't want to step on anybody's toes. And I just want to definitely be there to support the people. I believe in term limits just because I think in general, whether local, state, national politics. I mean, we don't want to have dynasties here, right? Like Queen Elizabeth, who just passed away, and she was on there forever as the Queen of England. right? But we need change. We need fresh ideas, right? Times change. Way people do things change, and so we need people who are changing and progressing with that, right? Certain time people get a little older, and maybe their mind is not, thinking the same way in terms of what the times call for now. So you need that fresh, introspective, or perspective, I say, from somebody different, right? And especially if we see things going the way that maybe they're going now. We don't like it, right? All these developments going up. And I'm very concerned with the Wilson Kimball to the chair appointment. I'll talk about that in a second. Just thought maybe it's an insider. So yeah, that was my thought. I actually, believe it or not, this is a funny thing, but I thought it was Zahid Jairus. I'm like, I wonder if Zahid Jairus is doing this, but I don't know, man. Maybe he's trying to because that page actually said they would support Nader Sayegh for mayor. And I noticed that, I didn't really see much going after or saying anything about Zahid Jairus, right? I mean, except for maybe some of the stuff that I have posted. They just shared that, but they never really mentioned, Zahid all that much. So I was like, wait a minute, I didn't really see them mention Zahid. Wait a minute, could he be, trying to, take over? And that's exactly what I want to talk about in a second. I want to read an article on the Yonkers Times. Right, I definitely want to read it. So, but listen, again, everyone is curious, but not just the people, not just the voters, not just the residents, but also the Yonkers Police Department. That's right. The Yonkers Police Department's intelligence unit visited a Yonkers resident and community advocate and was questioning that person in regards to this rally. They want to know what's up with that. And why is that? Is that like not, kind of Nazi Germany-ish, Gestapo, right? People maybe want to rally or come together. And I mean, and now you have police intelligence units showing up to, the homes of certain people. And that person's not even the person behind it. But yeah, Lauren, I know it's not Lauren Cater. It's not Lauren Cater. I'm hearing that. And I'm Freddy with 2 Ds. I know you know Freddy with 1 D. I'm Freddy with 2 Ds. I'm just saying. We need a strong new district attorney to prosecute the corrupt dynasty in Yonkers. And that's why I'm not for eliminated the term limits, right? It's very important that we have term limits, there. There's a reason why they were created, right? We must have change. But yes, so the police intelligence unit of the Yonkers Police Department, who I support very much, visited the home of an advocate here in the city of Yonkers in regards to this rally. But why would they do that? Why? Why would the police intelligence? I mean, there's nothing, suggesting any violence or any threat of violence to anyone at all, especially any elected officials, right? They're not saying, I mean, other protests were allowed to happen, music videos and all that was allowed to happen. So you're going to deny the people the right to voice their, concerns, their opinion, right? Freedom of speech, right to assemble, public property rights belongs to the people. So, I mean, are they going to try and stop this rally? I was wondering that, some other people said that they would maybe try and say you can't come to City Hall for some reason. Maybe it's, it's closed off. We're doing some kind of renovation, or the fire department might say, it's too many people here. It's over the limit, the legal limit, and we got to shut it down, right? They might say something like that. Who knows? Police intimidation unit, more like it. Well, that would be intimidating, especially to the individual that it happened to. I'm sure, to have the police knock on your door. Anytime police come in your door, it's like always like, what's up? And then, come in your door, and then they're questioning you about something that you don't even have anything to do with, but you support. That person does support it, but they're not the one that, organized it or is promoting it heavily. But even if they did, why would the police department, pay them a visit when this is not anything, threatening, anything violent, anything? It's just coming, call of action. Let your city council members know how you feel about something, and something important that's going to be happening soon. So people need to come to the city council meetings, which are open to the public, which the public should be attending. It's very important, man. Should be attending. It's very important, right? Because when we find things out and everybody's all upset, at that point it's too late. and you can't really do nothing to go back and change things. So it's important to know what's going on ahead of time, like the new appointment of the chairperson to the zoning board. That is extremely important. We have to say, no, city council, we do not want the person that you guys are considering based on their history, their reputation, and their motives and their agendas. Been in Yonkers only since 2012, 10 years, and now you're going to be reshaping the way Yonkers is going to look, and that's going to be based on how you can benefit. And it's happened before. It's been documented. So, folks, we have to come out and say something about that. That's not okay. And Shanae Williams, Lakeisha Collins Bellamy, Tasha Diaz, John Rubo, Anthony Moranthi, Mike Breen, Corazon Pineda, you guys need to do your homework before you vote on that, because there's a lot there that you need to consider very strongly before you make that appointment. You must. Otherwise, you are completely showing people that you are not doing your jobs effectively, nor do you care to do your jobs effectively. You know, I mean, did none of them see this rally thing here? I mean, the police unit is going to people's homes and asking about it. So I'm sure that the city council members know. Why haven't they spoken about it? I tagged them in a post with this, and I said, hey, can I get any statements from you guys about it? Not a word. It's like out of sight, out of mind, right? They just go in, they don't even look. Oh, yeah, vote for it. Yeah. Oh, we didn't know the people didn't want it. Oh, we didn't even see the right? They try to play dumb, blind, deaf, and dumb, and that's not okay. And that's what bothers me about it too. Like, that's like basically saying we don't care or respect you people. That's it. And you people, I mean us people, the voters, right? We the you peoples, you know what I mean? And so that has to change. And that's my issue, man. It's my issue. And, the fact that someone like me is trying to come out and do something positive, start my own business here. I grew up here. I'm from Yonkers. Many of these people that are making money here in Yonkers are not from Yonkers. Yet those that are from Yonkers seem to get the short end of the stick. They have the problems. We don't get nothing. We get shafted. And so I'm going to talk about that in a little bit here also. Anyway, there's many guesses. No, it's not. Look, Lauren Cater says it's not her. I don't know. Eileen O'Connor, her. John Murtagh. I was thinking maybe Zay, he was doing some crazy stuff, the way people talk about the guy. Who knows? But whoever it is, I mean, I think you have to make yourself president. If not, I guess I'll take the lead, because we're going to need someone to kind of present a clear, concise, organized message in order to be effective. 90% of the rank and file YPD are great public servants. 1,000% I agree. The other 10% of the leadership and HQ people sell their souls to the Spanos to make sure they get the deals and pension paddings, OT for their pensions. So don't be naive and brag about support. No, I have to. Supporting the YPD. Support good cop. Well, I mean, the good cops are YPD, right? I mean, they're YPD too, right? If you said 90%, I have to support the YPD, right? Then, because 90% are good, right? Like you said, right? So, I mean, I don't understand. I don't know how to do that. I'll say this. I support 90% of the YPD. That is that clear? What I meant to type is that I'm not organizing the rally. Just wanted to make it clear. No, that's not Lauren Cater. It's not. And, John Cater would probably just be public. He would show his face. He would just, like me. We just say you see us when we're saying it. There's no need to hide it. You know what I mean? It's none of that. It's nothing. Anyway, whatever. Anyway, so I want to actually talk about the Yonkers Times. I want to talk about the Yonkers Times. And listen, Dan, I wasn't even thinking about you until you made the comment on the post, and that's cool. Whatever. And Dan, some people had said something about me, and even we're talking about who's going to be for mayor, right? Whatever. Some people, I put me, jokingly, because I said, if these are the choices, then I'm definitely running, right? And so he made a comment, Freddy mayor, whatever, B-A-A-A-A all the way. And so, trying to be funny, I say, yeah, that's funny, you're right, Dan. But what's funny is the backpedaling, right? The roundabout, the about face, I should say, that you've done recently. All of a sudden, you're reporting differently now. And so you have to wipe that brown off the pages of the Yonkers Times there. All right. Got a little dirty, Dan. Got a little dirty, Dan. So what's funny, Dan, is how you wrote this article here, and I'm going to read it to people. And now you don't mention any of this stuff, right? It wasn't me. I even told detective from the okay, so it was Carolyn who the detectives came to come see. She's outed herself. It wasn't me. I even told detectives from the intelligence unit it was not me. And if and when I organize an event, people will know. I'm sure. Again, you're another person that would definitely let it be known, but you'll be there, I'm sure, and I'll be there. Video. Yonkers Police Department Special Investigation Unit and Internal Affairs Division do not operate within any ethical boundaries. Both units are staffed with Spano pledges. They follow orders without question, regardless of the task. That's why I refer to IAD as the black shirts. If they cared about ethics, they would not be willing to take those positions. Everybody wants that money. Everybody wants that moolah, right? So there you go. But so we'll know. We'll see what happens on the September 13th. The rally to prevent term limits from being eliminated. You're right. So September 13th at 7 o'clock at Unity Fountain. Let the Yonkers Council know, if that's what you want, that you do not want to see term limits eliminated. They don't seem to make the best decision, our council, and I'll tell you a little bit more in a second. Zahid Jairus returns in Romano campaign for judge. This is from May 21st, 2020. All right. And so this is important because it's like when I go back to read these things, it's almost like reading it for the first time, knowing what I know now. Right. So things pop out at me. So Dan Murphy wrote this in his Yonkers Times. Zahid Jairus returns in Romano campaign for judge. Yonkers Democrats, listen to what he says. Yonkers Democrats, and I'm going to do this. Yonkers Democrats are upset over the negative tactics of political operative Zahid Jairus above and city court judicial candidate Dan Romano below. Dan, your brother is Joe Romano. Does he work at OCFS, Office of Children and Family Services? I'm just curious. I want to know that. Curious. With an upcoming June 23rd primary in Yonkers, and again, it's 2020, in the middle of the coronavirus, two factors have changed the dynamics of the Democratic primary for Yonkers City Court: negative campaigning and the return to Yonkers politics of Zahid Jairus. Okay, folks? Now, that's super important because people have told me that judicial races or elections are impartial. They're not political, but that's a bunch of baloney. I dare anyone to come on live with me and show your face telling me that that's not true. Tell me that's not true on my live. You have to show people you saying that, okay? It's a bunch of baloney because it's extremely political, and these judge wannabes, they will pander to certain individuals. And Zahid Jairus, obviously, as Yonkers Times, the official, by the way, the official newspaper of the city of Yonkers, Yonkers Times, is talking about this. Zahid Jairus was the guy that got Dan Romano elected for city court judge in 2021. Negative campaigning and the return of Zahid Jairus to politics. The man that went to jail for bribing Sandy Anabi, the majority leader at the time. She went to jail also for it. Mike Edelman said anyone who's in politics should stand clear. Stay away. Any officials, stand clear of Zahid Jairus. If this is true, it proved to be true because he was convicted of it bribery and extortion of elected officials. Remember that. Okay. And many believe that both are linked. With most Yonkers Democrats we speak to saying that negative campaigning or lies should have no part in politics during a pandemic and in a judicial race. Okay. It should have no negative and no race anyway. 5 candidates are running for the Democratic nomination for Yonkers City Court judge, 3 of which won the Democratic City Convention and have the nomination of the party. They are Judge Tom Daly, who was betrayed, Judge Brandon McGrath, who was over at Macy. That guy does whatever, man, forget it. And attorney Veris Shako, who I saw today at the Mexican Independence Day Street Festival, right? And her sister also, I believe, works at the Office of Children and Family Services as well. I think my wife spoke to her. She gave us some misinformation, but we straightened that out. We got the correct information. 2 other Yonkers attorneys, I just make note of everything. 2 other Yonkers attorneys are also on the ballot. Dan Romano and Karen Best. Both are claiming they were denied the right to fairly compete at the Yonkers Democratic Convention, when the facts show that both did not get the votes from the party faithful. Romano only got 28%, Best got 0%, because she could not get a single Democrat to nominate her. Yonkers Democratic Chairman Tom Meyer said, to say that the convention was rigged and that our system is corrupt is an outright lie. These accusations against me are almost against the 400 district leaders who attended the convention and voted their conscience. I twisted no arms, and I can't help it if they didn't like the outcome. The Democrats didn't vote for them. That's what Tom Meyer was saying about Dan Romano and Karen Best. Well, Dan Romano, at the very least, was being, sponsored, was being, ran by Zahid Jairus. He was the guy behind Dan. Additional falsehoods and accusations have been thrown at the Democratic Party by nominees by Romano and his campaign. These claims were then posted on where else? The Yonkers Tribune, because that is a Zahid Jairus controlled page. And so anytime Zahid wants to attack someone, specifically the Caters, that's why the Caters get attacked a lot on that page. That's how he does it. So here you go. Dan Murphy of the Yonkers Times, the official newspaper of the city of Yonkers, it was determined by elected officials, our leaders here in the city, right? Is stating that, okay? Is stating that the claims were posted on Yonkers Tribune because that's the Zahid controlled page, which permits comments below the original post. Several of those comments concerned the wife of one judicial candidate who, while not running for judge, had to endure the negative attacks while she was recovering from COVID-19. Pobrecita. Let me ask you, Dan, did you care about Mike Cater's wife? And I'm going to be fair. So if you hear me bring up the Caters, it's not anything that they've told me. I'm going to be fair. It's a fact. It's a fact that just cannot be left out, because Dan mentioned nothing of the negative campaigning against Mike Cater in the race for city council president. Never once. But he's mentioning it here because at this point in time, Zahid wasn't in with the crew. So Zahid is wanting to get in. He's fighting to get in. I want to get back in. I want to get control of the Democratic Party and some sort of have influence. So he's using Dan Romano so he can get in, right? And since he's having a hard time, so he's doing his tricks against the Democratic Party here. This is 2020. He's attacking them with the Yonkers Tribune, which is what he does, right? So again, that's important to know. Several public figures in Yonkers have sued the Yonkers Tribune for libel. Keith Olson, the Yonkers public whatever it's called, YPBA union, based on same types of harmful, hateful comments in prior campaigns for Yonkers City Court. Candidates openly and honestly ran for judge without regard to political party. Candidates also sought the endorsement from both the Democratic and Republican parties in an attempt to take politics out of the judicial race. So they try to make it bipartisan. But the great divider is back in Yonkers politics. Zahid Jairus. That's what he does. That is why I thought he possibly could be the person behind exposing Yonkers corruption. You know what I mean? Listen, all right? But this year, all traditions of decency are being thrown out, as the Romano campaign has attacked Judge Daley for taking the Republican Party line and Judge McGrath for taking the Conservative Party line, and in doing so, attempting to link both to President Donald Trump, right? If you want to make somebody look bad, oh, you support Donald Trump. Oh, you're a Donald Trump lover. Yeah, right. That's what it is nowadays. This move was the last straw for many Democrats who see hypocrisy in the move by both Romano and Jairus to claim Democratic loyalty when both are longtime former Republicans. Right? He used to be the chair of the Republican Party, Zahid Jairus, before going to jail or being asked to resign by then Mayor Phil Lamacone after the Ridge Hill scandal with Forest City Ratner, or whatever they called. Right? So several Yonkers Democrats, I love this because this is when Zahid wasn't, I guess they weren't together, so they're kind of fighting at this point. Several Yonkers Democrats have contacted us to also highlight the fact that Jairus is leading an effort to run Democratic candidates for Yonkers district leader in 40 races in an attempt to wield power in the Yonkers Democratic Party. Now, that's important. It's very important. This is 2 years ago. And he has gained power and control of the Yonkers Democratic Party. But folks, remember, this is an individual that is supposed to be far away from politics. He has corrupted officials in the past. And for what? In order to get developments done. Now we see Tasha Diaz flip-flop on the affordable housing ordinance. Affordable housing benefits that she takes full advantage of when she lives in Jefferson Terrace, paying no more than $1,000 for a 4-bedroom apartment, 4-bedroom, $1,000. She doesn't have to pay utilities nor parking. Yet she killed the housing ordinance so other people would not be able to have the same benefits. And why she do that? Because the developers did not want the housing ordinance to be more than the 10% where it stood. And because of that, that gave them the green light. That's why you see such massive luxury development. She did exactly what Sandy Anabi did on that Ridge Hill scandal when she changed her vote all of a sudden. Zahid Jairus was also behind her and involved. And here we are again. Deja vu, Groundhog Day. So are we going to this time around say, hey, we see what's going on here and we're going to step up and do something about it, or we're just going to let it happen again? And that's why I'm reading this, because it's very important. Here, they were outing him. Again, the Yonkers Times, the official newspaper of the city of Yonkers, here they were outing him. So this is why it's important, and this all relates to the developments and the people being pushed out of the city of Yonkers. All has to do, it's all related. For those who don't know, Zahid Jairus is the former Republican Party chairman in Yonkers. In 2012, he was found guilty of bribery and extortion related to the sale of former Councilwoman Sandy Anabi's vote. He served 4 years in prison. One Democratic district leader wrote the following to the Yonkers Rising. Mr. Murphy, I did not want to have to send you this letter, but as a loyal Yonkers Democrat, I have no choice. One Democratic district, I have to speak out against the attacks made against Yonkers Democratic Chair Tom Meyer and every Yonkers Democratic leader, as I am a district leader, as disgraceful. We have a Democratic candidate for city court, Dan Romano, who is using a disgraced former Republican, Zahid Jairus, to spread lies about 3 different Yonkers people. Let me be clear. I do not want Jairus to take over my Democratic Party, and that's what's happened. If Mr. Jairus were to take over my Democratic Party, I will leave the party that I have loved for 25 years and find another party. I know and respect Mr. Romano and his family. They have been a part of Yonkers for decades. I wanted to hear more about Romano, and I actually considered voting for him for judge. But that was before I saw the dirty tricks of his campaign, which are right out of the playbook of Zahid Jairus. I was also at the City Democratic Convention, and I voted as district leader for Daley, McGrath, and Shockoe. The fix was not in, Mr. Romano and Mr. Jairus. You simply lost the vote, and it wasn't all that close. I wonder how many other Yonkers Democrats know about Zahid Jairus and operation of Romano's campaign, and that Jairus is trying to take our Yonkers Democratic Party. That is why I write you this letter, Mr. Murphy, writes Miss J, who name was former Yonkers Democratic Chair, and Murrell, who is a ward leader in the 5th Ward, is one of the many ward leaders whose district leaders are under challenge. My district leaders have been honored at our Democratic dinner as District Leaders of the Year. They are active and loyal Democrats. My question to Zahid Jairus is, why are you challenging these Democrats? because he's taking control. There's a lot of money to be made with the developers. It's not about helping the people. Getting into politics here in Yonkers is not about helping the people. This is about making money with the developers under the table, point blank, period. And so will Wilson Kimball, in my opinion, when she gets put into and appointed to the chair of the zoning board by our silly council, who will play stupid, knowing she should not be there, knowing that she was already investigated by the New York State Inspector General back in 2010. Money was missing. She had to go. Her and her husband who worked there. Now they all in Yonkers bringing in all these luxury developments. They're literally changing zoning laws that were put in place for a reason. And so we have to stop this. My question to Zahid Jairus is, why are you challenging these Democrats? Because he's trying to take over. There's money to be made. He needs a person like Tasha Diaz, a John Rubo, Lakeisha Collins Bellamy, the city council president, who is controlled by both Wilson and Zahid Jairus. So they're going to appoint whatever people they got to appoint to the zoning board to do what they need to do to take complete control. That's what happened. I called Dan Romano and asked him to talk to Zahid and find out why he is doing this. Now that Zahid is a Democrat, he wants to take over the party, said Murtagh, who has 48 district leaders in her 5th ward. Meyer also made the distinction between Yonkers Democrats who have served for years and helped and supported other Yonkers Democrats on the ballot, and all those who have just joined the party, like John Rubo, and now want to run for office. That's what Tom Meyer said. Dan Romano's a nice guy, but he hasn't been involved in the Democratic Party. Karen Best has also now run for judge twice, but has not been involved in the Democratic Party. Vazquez has been involved as a district leader and helping other Democratic candidates get elected. And she is one of our 3 endorsed Democrats for city court judge. Zahid Jairus has also not been involved in the Democratic Party. He was involved in the Republican Party, and now all of a sudden he's a Democrat. I think we all should remember the golden rule of politics. Don't throw stones from a glass house. He, Jairus, had told me repeatedly that he is not going after me for leader, but he is slowly accumulating district leaders for the future. For the future. What do you think that means? For the future, right? For the future, for this coming elections that are so important in 2023. This is important because the people that are in there now are not for the people of the city of Yonkers. They're not for the people of the city of Yonkers, whether you're white, black, or brown. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter in the southeast side. Doesn't matter if you're the northeast side, southwest, northwest. They are not for you. They are for the developers. The plan must go on. Right? But whoever is crafting these negative messages, if they are going to start throwing mud, I'll stand on my record as a Democratic chairman and stand behind the choice of Yonkers Democrats at our convention for Judge Daley, Judge McGrath, and Vazquez, said Meyer. Romano has claimed at several campaign events that Jairus is not his campaign manager. They do that. But regardless of title, he's obviously something. Many Democrats wanted to set the record straight and do not want to see this type of negative and vindictive type of campaigning during the pandemic or any time. I don't say why you say during the pandemic, Dan, or any time for judicial races or any races. So Tom Meyer right there. Tom Meyer is the chair of the Democratic Party currently. He's also the commissioner of DPW, right? And so he was having an issue because they already had their 3 judges. They had Shako, they had Daley and McGrath. But he wanted his guy, Dan Romano. And so he did what he does in elections, just like he did against Mike Cater in the city council president's race. The negative mailers, the palm cards, the robocalls, the text messages, the calls to the wife, neighbors. I mean, it gets nasty. It gets disgusting. It gets ugly. Eileen O'Connor even wrote up to the state about it, wondering Who was behind it? Well, the guy that's behind trying to get your ward, Eileen, and I hear Tom Meyer removed you as vice chair, or one of the chairs of the Democratic, vice chair of the Democratic Party. They're trying to weaken you. That area is going up for development. The Ludlow project, a lot of money to be made there. They have to be able to control the way the people vote there. That's what it's all about, Eileen, taking over the party. You're right. And so here you have Dan Murphy. This is the point. Again, Dan Murphy, Yonkers Times, the official newspaper of the city of Yonkers, sanctioned by the city, talking about Zahid Jairus, a gentleman that still exists. He's currently running the campaign of City Court Judge Ada Medina. And that had a bunch of controversy. Somebody wanted to run against her, primary her, and they were retaliated against. But what I didn't understand is that now Tom Meyer was also involved in that. They were retaliating against the guy's brother who worked for DPW, where Tom Meyer is commissioner, because he wanted to challenge Zahid Jairus' candidate, Ada Medina, for city court judge. But is it okay for a city court judge or any person looking to become a judge to get in bed with a felon, someone convicted of bribing elected officials? It's a judge. I don't, it's crazy. Tasha Diaz also is one of his puppets. Let's call it like it is. One of his puppets. City Council has a lot of work to do to be proactive with priorities, not reactive to whatever comes their way. They don't care because they're being told what to do. They know what the plan is and how they got to vote. For example, with Wilson Kimball, why are they even interviewing her? I mean, I'm going to post up the IG's report. You guys read it for yourself. I don't understand. Why? Dan Murphy sold out for a few dollars. As the official newspaper of the city, his paper gets all the legal notices of bond sales, tax liens, city council meetings, public hearings, ZBA agendas. He gets paid to keep his mouth shut and do the Spanos bidding. Yeah, absolutely. That's why he's not saying anything anymore. He stays quiet because he wants to advertise. Because if you look at here, you can see, he has political advertisements now, and he has all these other advertisers. But before that, when this article came out, he didn't have anything, nothing with politicians, right? So you can see that. Great recap on all that. Thank you. I tried to forget such dysfunction, the neglect of the people, and the banning of the oaths they took. Absolutely. Freddy for mayor, clean this shitty up and work for the people and not the political elites. And listen, I would run if the people say, yeah, but there would have to be that, I look, at the end of the day, I'm not looking to have a title or nothing like that. I just want to see, things done the right way. I just think that, the city is going about it all wrong. As people saying, Freddie, you can't do nothing about it. You're not going to stop it. This has already been done. Why are you even trying? Give up. People have said that to me, right? You're wasting your time. Imagine I had believed that from day one in my life, right? Definitely wouldn't be here today speaking to you folks, you fine folks. But if the people, that's what they wanted, I would definitely, enter a race. People have asked me if I'm interested in running. Listen, if that's what it takes. But again, it's what the people want. Ultimately, it's what the people want. That's why we have to come out and be vocal. We have to come out and vote. And we definitely have to vote for people that truly want to do what's right, what's best for the people of the city, and not push them out, not look to make a quick buck, because these folks are looking to simply benefit financially. Do you know how much a city court judge makes? $200,000 a year. I mean, it's very not, easy work, not labor intensive at all. And so we want that. They'll do whatever. Yeah, I want to sit there. So I hear also Lakeisha Collins Bellamy is going to be possibly going over to becoming a city court judge. From what sources have told me, she didn't really want to do the political thing, but they needed someone to replace Mike Cater, someone that can get him out. And this was all the mastermind of the individual Zahid Jairus and Wilson Kimball. So how is Lakeisha? And I think she's abstained from voting on that one. But why? That shouldn't be allowed. You either for it or against it. Right? If you do your homework, Lakeisha, if you do your homework and you look at the investigation, the report from the New York State IG, where your boss was involved and is investigated, like the way you guys wanted to try to have me investigated for that child porn thing, which actually came up again today, and I'll tell you in a second how. Right? Because all your little folks was talking about it. You guys, gets back to me. Your boss was investigated for misappropriation of funds. They were spending money, taxpayer money, on an apartment downtown Manhattan so they can rendezvous. This was in the New York Post. You can read about it. It's public information. So are they going to steal from the city? Have they already stolen from the city? Are they the type of individuals that may take money under the table in order to get zoning laws changed and projects approved? What do you think? So all of you are going to make a bad decision if you appoint this individual as the chairperson. In fact, she should not even be on that board. And that's the kind of thing that we need someone to come in and make sure happens and say, no, you got to go. You got to go and you got to go. And we got to change things up. We got to fix these schools. That's a priority. That's number one, education. We got to bring in not luxury developments, but we need to bring in businesses that are going to provide long sustaining jobs, reoccurring jobs, and not just construction of luxury developments. They give a few people maybe, and then those jobs are done once the building is up. That's what should have been the focus. Improving the schools and bringing in companies that can provide lots of jobs for people at a fair wage. That way they can learn, or they can earn, I should say, the money to sustain themselves. They don't have to be taken care of. But when you have nothing here for people, no real jobs, nothing at all, business owners can't eat. I couldn't hire two women that I was going to hire at my day's kiss, and I had to tell them it wasn't going to happen. So this is the problem. City of Yonkers will give me a hard time. They allow vape shops to open up where they sell products that injure kids. But me, a daycare that's much needed, providing employment that's much needed, they give me a hell of a time. So we have to change that, and we need somebody in there that's going to do that. We need somebody in there that's going to really, care about the people and say, we need to stop what's going on. We need to, let's halt everything now. Let's see where we at. Let's take a look at everything. And is this in the best interest of the people here in the city of Yonkers? And the reason why they build luxury developments, because they say that, contractors or developers make money on luxury. There's really no money they can make on building affordable developments and stuff, so that's why. Right. And so they weren't going to come here because who were going to live in the buildings, right? There was nothing that were going to bring people who could afford these luxury developments. So that's why they never came. But once they struck a deal with Lionsgate to come here and Syracuse to come here, well, that was a game changer. Now, the prime real estate along the water could be developed into luxury rentals, and you have people that are going to be able to actually afford it coming in. So that's why, they're building them now. And they're pushing everyone out. So, we have to come out and vote, and we need to vote people in that care about our schools. I have a skin in the game. My kids go to the Yonkers public schools. I'm from Yonkers. I don't plan on going anywhere. I love this place. I'm everywhere, all over. I get along with everyone, right? I went to school 16 there. Once they did the DSEG thing. So I was a bus kid, and back then, it didn't seem like the busing was that bad. I don't know. Why is it so horrible now? People have a lot of questions. The Spano crime family is entirely comprised of Albany Republicans running as dinos and using their positions to enrich themselves with every scheme under the sun. Wake up, voters. Yonkers needs its own Bernie Sanders. I don't know about Bernie Sanders. That's a little too on that side, but we definitely need someone that cares about the people. We need somebody that's not looking to come in there and enrich themselves. Money is not the motive. Money is not the priority. Advancing career-wise is not the goal. Saying, look at me taking pictures, right? And these different events, like it's almost sickening. It really is. I mean, some of you folks, you have to stop. Sickening. I mean, it's like so much about their vanity, and yet you guys are supposed to be elected officials. You're supposed to, I don't get it. But we need people like that out. We need people that truly care about the people and that have the capability to actually get it done, right? And actually has the energy, right? And a little bit of the fierceness. You need someone with fierceness. That's not scared. It's going to tell it like it is. It's going to go toe to toe, head to head with anyone and not back down. And there's not many people like that. I'm Freddy Vazquez. This is Basement Politics, folks. Thank you for joining me. Hey, you know what's funny, Dan? You're flip-flopping, you're backpedaling, your two-facedness, your about face that you did. You only probably did this so you can get to become the official newspaper of the city of Yonkers. But you no longer care to write what's true, the real, news that's out there, that there's some corruption going on here in the city of Yonkers. You should be all over that housing flop. You didn't cover anything about Mike Cater and what he went through. Or if there's a possibility of quid pro quo with John Rubo and his landlord, AMS, one of the biggest developers here. You don't ask any of those questions, Dan. You just do as you're told, make you a little bit of money, and like everyone else, you already sell out. And you've been sold out. Freddy Vazquez, folks, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Oh, by the way, I just want to give a quick update. Yeah, I know. That's the problem. Celebrity politicians, Hollywood, I know they want to be seen. You got to see it. I mean, folks, I'm sure you guys see it, right? And what's crazy, honestly, when I started to go to events and I would see the politicians be there maybe 10 minutes. Literally, when they were giving out the mask and the gloves, their aides would come up to them. Okay, it's time to take the picture. Yeah, okay. Oh, give them the mask, give them the glove. Here comes a car coming up. They would have the drive-through things, and then they would have the box of or whatever, the gloves and the mask, and then their aide would be there taking a picture on the phone, smiling. Here, I'm giving you gloves and a mask. I've impacted the world. I've made a big change. I mean, come on, folks. It's like with the school book bags, right? We can appreciate you giving free book bags. But what does the book bag mean if the schools are falling apart? If there's mold, asbestos, lead, if there's overcrowded, the quality of the school education is not good. 75% of the kids are impoverished. 72% are Black and Latino. So, 75%, most who are impoverished are Black and Latino. They lack resources, supplies. They don't have books. They don't have transportation. Not enough teachers. I don't get it. The book bags is like, what's the point? You know what I'm saying? What's the point? How about you give these kids a quality school building to enter and go in so they can feel proud and have pride to enter that building and go to school there? How about you give them an AC? How about you give them heat in the wintertime? How about you give them all transportation? Why are you allowing kids just to be dismissed out and to jump on public buses and stuff? That's problematic right there. You're setting yourself up for problems. Then these buses just dump them all in Getty Square. I've never seen that. I was fortunate enough to graduate high school out of Yonkers, and there was 5 of us. I was in 11th grade. I didn't have a car. It was one of the poor ones. Literally 5 of us on the long bus. They had buses no matter what for the high school students. So why don't they do that here? Why they don't have monitors? Why are kids being left at the wrong bus stop or taken to the wrong school? But hey, they got their brand new free book bag, right? God forbid they get kidnapped for being dropped off at the wrong bus stop. At least they'll have their brand new book bag that Tasha gave them, that the elected officials gave them. But they couldn't give them transportation that would assure that they would get home safely. That's horrible. You guys' priorities out. You know, I don't get it. Let's give them free food, but not give them housing. Does that make sense? Yep. You look at how Mary Calvi got a nice gig. Where? What do you mean? And as a reporter? You know, I'm imagining she did that on her own. I don't know that. They don't want to educate nor accommodate our children, only their own. Absolutely. They don't care. Right? They're giving them free book bags, but they're sending them off to schools that are in much need of renovations. That Shanae Williams, the councilwoman for District 1, said the roofs are falling down. They say there's mold, asbestos. They lack so much. There's really no real programs, no music, no arts, no sports. Give them that. That's what they need. A book bag, and no disrespect to some people that did that. I mean, I don't want to, I'm not trying, but I'm talking about the elected officials. Okay, because if you're a community person, if you are, you know, a nonprofit and you did that, cool. Much respect to you, because you don't have to do that. You're doing that because you want to and you are passionate. But if you're an elected official and you're sitting there giving out a free book bag and thinking you did something for the kids, announcing it, advertising all over on the bottom, your campaign ads and all that stuff with the city, which is illegal, right? You're not doing nothing. Not when these schools need renovations. Not when we need 3 new schools at least. Not when they need AC. Not when they need heat. When kids are in the classes with coats on. Not when they need transportation. Okay, that's crazy. And then you got them lining. Anyway, listen, it's just crazy. That's crap. And then you guys want to give free food but no housing. Tasha Diaz, she brags about the free food she gives, but she kills the housing. So now a lot of people can't find a place to live that's affordable. I don't get that. But you're giving out food. That's great. One day they won't have a place to take it to, Tasha. Then what? So you're just appeasing them. Here you go. Let's just give them this food, keep them quiet while we kick them out. Maybe they won't notice. Give them a book bag. Maybe they won't notice. Right? Oh, maybe we can allow illegal apartments to increase the affordable housing stock. Let them take the chance of dying in an emergency, in a fire. Who cares? Right? Anyway, folks, quick update. Look, I always say this. I will correct myself or whatever. I do that. Today, I ran into the gentleman I spoke about who worked for Yonkers, the parking authority. You know, the guy that, you know, I think we came to an understanding today. He was, you know, giving me a hard time at the building department, you know, and then, you know, recently there was an incident involving him where, you know, he was arrested, and I spoke about that. And so then, you know, he said, yo, man, you got to get your information. But you know what? I'm going to say this. You know what I appreciate about him? That because other people have had issues with me, you know, a couple, maybe 2 or 3, maybe like 2, maybe 2 other people. It's not really a lot, but, you know, 2 other people have issue with me. And they kind of, it was a way that I was like, he approached me in a way that it didn't seem like he was like, he wanted to, you know, be beefing or be aggressive. No, he came at me as a perfect gentleman. So I give you respect for that. And I appreciate it. And what ended up happening is that we were able to speak because he said, listen, you know, they got your picture here. They telling me not to let you win. That's what he's telling me, right? The city of Yonkers, they don't want me in the building department. Not to let you win. They have your picture there. That's what I have to do. I have to do my job. And I understand that. But I said, but you know me, you know, and then I have, you know, and then you call the cops on me though, man. Like they came, you know, speeding to City Hall and to the building department. Like I had just, you know, really did something serious, you know? So I was like, yeah, what if they would have just ended up taking me to jail and all that for nothing? Because you got my picture there and they're telling you not to let me in the building department, right? But I understood it. That's his job, right? That's his job. And then he explained to me that, listen, you know, what you said about me was wrong. You know, you should really verify. And listen, I did hear from, you know, several people, but listen, I will give the benefit of the doubt because again, when we talk and you have respect, and I'll give respect back. That's how it works. I give respect back. So I appreciate the way he approached me because it wasn't like I'm tough and I'm upset or nothing. He just wanted to have a conversation like a gentleman. So we spoke, and apparently, what he's telling me is that that's not all the way the truth. It was a misunderstanding or something. He says otherwise. Look, I'm here. I'm not in jail. I say, okay, cool. Then maybe I had it wrong. People telling me, but I will correct myself, right? And that's what I do. I have no problems being wrong. Absolutely not. But I do, again, appreciate to the gentleman because we were able to speak like gentlemen, right? Because that's anybody. If you don't like what I say, that's how you approach me. That's how you do it because, any other way I could, everyone's could take things the wrong way. And then it's not going to get things resolved, right? Then it's going to maybe both sides probably leave not happy. But we were able to have a good conversation. I think we had understanding, and we both left like perfect gentlemen. So I respect you for doing that and coming at me in that way. And that's a true gentleman. Honestly, that's somebody who's real. I will, because sometimes people, the tough stuff, that you don't got to do all that to show that you're tough. I don't doubt anyone. I don't underestimate anybody. So nobody do I think is a punk. I just assume everybody's a super badass and they could whoop ass. You know what I mean? And that's how I deal with things. I don't assume that anybody's weak and nothing like that. And that's never underestimate your opponent or anyone. That's the rule in life. But anyway, I just want to put that out there because I want to give an update. My guy's he's in the town. He's moving out and about. We did speak. We had a good conversation. It was very respectful. I appreciate the way you came and approached me and spoke to me. It wasn't like, you're trying to, but, and he got his point across and I completely understood what he was saying, and I think he understood where I was coming from too. Cause I'm like, yo, you calling cops on me, man, trying to give me a problem. Come on, man. You know what I mean? I felt like you threatened me. He said, well, I didn't threaten you. I said, well, I felt like you threatened me. You know what I mean? But I think we talked it out. So shout out to you. My goal is not to have problems with people in the city of Yonkers. It's really not. My goal is just to, inform the people. Like the guy from, one of these stores, he reached out to me, said, yo, you talking about my business? I said, listen, this vape shop thing is getting crazy. Got kids, buying underage, buying vapes, having medical emergencies. Now you got John Rubo talking about, we got to look into these vape shops that are popping up all over the place. Now he's concerned, right? I just let him know, listen, people are reaching out to me about all the kind of different, vape shops that are possibly not legal that are popping up because they're concerned with their kids and other kids. So listen, I'm not the guy creating things. I'm not the creator of the stories. I'm simply the amplifier. I'm simply Freddy Vazquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Have a beautiful and blessed night. And I will be back on Monday. Oh, and the John Cater interview, out of respect for 9/11 tomorrow, we have decided to postpone it, but definitely John Cater will be joining me and Anderson from Inside Yonkers on Tuesday. We rescheduled again. Tomorrow's 9/11. So my condolences and respect and prayers to the families of all the victims of 9/11. And you have a beautiful and blessed Sunday. Have a good night. I am Freddy Vazquez, and this is Basement Politics.
Freddy wins. Fatality.
Register to vote if you're not registered. Make sure you register to vote. You can actually go on the Yonkers DemocratsUnited.com page, and you can actually register to vote there if you are not registered. So you can visit Yonkers DemocratsUnited.com. YonkersDemocratsUnited.com, and you can actually download or register right there to become a voter. Very important. We need everyone next year. Every one of you. If you don't vote next year, you won't be here next year. Remember, P. Diddy, vote or die. This is one of those situations. Vote or die. Vote or die. Bravo. Thank you. I appreciate you guys' support. I really do. I absolutely do. And I don't make $1. I make $0 doing this. I just want to let you know it's not for the money. And I've been offered some. It's not. I don't make $1. I promise you that, okay? I'm Freddy Vazquez. Thank you for the support, folks. Keep sharing the page. Keep following the page. And let's show them that it's growing each and every day. All right? Concerned Democrats of Yonkers? You should be.
Freddy wins. Fatality.
In another one, Mr. Rumo lied to me. And I don't vote for a person that lied to me.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are now tuned in to Basement Politics Unfiltered.
You're watching
Basement Politics with my dad, Freddy Vazquez.
You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddy Vazquez.
Are we? An optical illusion that people are following him. The truth is, nobody is. The truth is,
Freddy wins. Fatality.
Like I said, political games that are being played. You could have.
Yes.
Wow. Letting Helen off easy.
Are we doing interviews right now?
Yes, I sent that text message yesterday if you had any questions for the candidates.
Yes, but I thought it was going to be like after we went through the agenda, we would then do interviews. But I'm okay. I don't have any questions.
Freddy wins.
I was raised in housing. I don't think you were. I was raised in housing. I don't think you were. I was raised in housing. I don't think you were. I was raised in housing. I don't think you were. I want.
an optical, my competition, the guy who always talks about me and say, awful things about me, he will not have a problem, guys.
Freddy wins. Fatality.
Benefit him because he doesn't cover. My competition, the guy who always talks about me in the hopes that the people will follow them. Because they que hablan español, mande unas estrellitas para nosotros. Trabajamos muy duro para. But I am the bad guy. Not long ago, he admitted himself. But I am the bad guy.
I'm a councilwoman, so the capacity that I know you in, they may know you in a different capacity.
But I am the bad guy.
But I'm hoping that this is not true.
I am the bad guy.
I'm hoping that this is not true, Sammy.
Come on, give it to us straight.
But I am the bad guy. I am the bad guy.
Freddy wins.
I keep forgetting some of these buttons.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are
Anyway,
now
folks, have a good night.
tuned in
Thank you for
to
joining me.
Basement.
I was trying to find a fact. I just couldn't find it. Our majority leader was at an Indian flag raising, and she said, I'm going to leave it right here. I don't want to say too much. I'm greedy, and I can't wait to get some of that buttered chicken. And I can't find that effect. Who says that? Who says that? You're an elected official, and you say, I'm going to make this short because I'm greedy, and I want some of that buttered chicken. That's what she said in front of City Hall. Yo. Who voted for her?
Yes. Are we doing interviews right now?
Yeah,
Yes,
we are, Shanae. Pay attention.
Freddy wins.
Who voted for her?
Fatality.
Unbelievable. And by the way, is Conrad, I think his name is Conrad over at Jefferson Terrace. You know, this is what's sad. People are in a line for housing and to get an apartment. And then you got slime ball management guys that will take money and guarantee people an apartment and put them ahead over others who've been waiting in line. And I hear Tasha knows about this. So they wanted me to mention this in the hopes that the guy would stop doing this. Not really because they want him to get in trouble, whatever, but maybe he stopped, all right? Taking money to guarantee people an apartment over others who have been waiting. You know, it's not fair. And then 85 Riverdale, a lot of people calling me from those buildings, 85 Riverdale, with rats. The Chinese restaurant used to be there. Oh my goodness, I went back there. The rat droppings. You can hear the rats in the pipe. That's underneath 85 Riverdale. But then also I'm hearing about 47. Someone told me about an incinerator door there that's been boarded up. It's been like that for weeks. The mice are climbing into the window. I've even heard that mice can be seen walking up and down the halls. I'm just saying, man, this is crazy. Build an apartment, do your job.
Freddy.
And these are the real stuff that people are telling me. I just don't get them out. I'm sorry. Sometimes I forget. I write them down. And they want me to talk about it in order to hopefully get something done about it. There was another apartment building. I wrote it down. I'm so sorry. But just know, you slumlords, because here's the problem. You got people like, Michael Olis or whatever, people that are connected insiders that have bought these buildings up, cheap years ago, and they are a bunch of slumlords. And that is why they have yet to come out with the slumlord registry. But I'm actually collecting a list of properties and the names of those owners, many of the familiar names, and they're slumlords. So that's why they never came out with that slumlord registry. Right, Corazon?
Freddy wins.
Tell them about it, Corazon. Tell them. They gave you the affordable housing thing when there's already one. They didn't give you the slumlord registry. Why not?
Freddy wins.
Because we've elected too many slumlords. No! Too many slumlords have been elected to office. I'm Freddy Vazquez, keeping it honest. Some people don't like it.